Lewis in car number 12 for 6th position. Tommy Dreese right behind him in the number 5 Jaguar. They've been going at it in a very heated fashion for the last 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, they have not been separated by more than a couple of car lengths at any point. And Dreese still trying to find a way by, but Lewis does drive so smoothly. He's using up all of the track, and there's a little wiggle out of his car. Even as I said smoothly, gave him that jinx right there. Sorry, Mike. Oh, here he goes.
Dreese.
Boy, wise move. Tommy had the choice there. He could easily have nudged Mike on that left rear quarter panel, made him wiggle a little bit, lose the throttle. He did not want to take a chance on it, so that was a bit of class driving.
Still a long way to go. We put 15 laps up on the scoreboard of 73 today. So these drivers know they have quite a distance yet to run. And I would think Dreese knows, hey, if it's the last 3 or 4 laps, you might make a move like that. Here, it's probably too early. Now, how about Justin Bell in car number 40? Missed several races when his team didn't have the funding they were expecting. He's back with us this weekend. Justin up to 9th. He had dropped to 13th in the season standings after nearly winning at Long Beach to open the season. He was part of that epic 3-way battle with Jen Lozzi and Boris Said. It's good to see Justin Derek Son back in the hunt here at the 40 car. He's gained 5 spots in the early going, now up to 8.
He may not have been in the race car for a while, but he's been practicing probably at his own driving school.
Well, you know, we talked about the fact that he is a street circuit specialist and the way they set up the car. The good news is you said he was gone for 3 races. He will be back for the rest of the season. Unfortunately today, because they were gridded by championship points, he had to start 13th. So he's got his work cut out for him. You've talked about how he's moved forward. They also expect him to be one of the first cars here on pit road, an early pit stop strategy.
Justin closed his rookie Trans Am season last year, winning the last couple of races, and started this year off, as we said, with a bang at Long Beach. He was right in it up until the last couple of corners, but he and Boris Said basically used up too much racetrack, and it opened the door for Paul Gentilozzi to score the win.
They thinned each other's cars somewhat.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Justin does have a third in motorsport after the late race contact. At Long Beach, the 40 car suffered a little body damage, and he did not run in the top 3 as they came to the line. He didn't finish, but he was 6th if memory serves. Dreese there in that black Jaguar, still holding Justin Bell off for the moment. There's Paul Fix out of Buffalo.
Spin.
One of the Jags has gone around. I think that's George Diaz, possibly. No, that's Dreese. Tommy Dreese and the Daredevil Pyroware 5 has gone around.
Oh, trying to get under the throttle probably just a little bit sooner, trying anything he can.
Terrific guy from California. Really enjoy visiting with him along the Trans Am Tour. And now he will try to find a gear and get that car underway.
Good job.
He was 7th at the time of the spin. Gives up a lot. Oh, and another spin.
Boy.
That looks like perhaps the car of Mendez. It is the 68 of Luis Mendez.
Now, this may bring out a full course caution unless he can get that car off the wall.
That is right at the entrance to the front stretch. That's right on turn 16 as the cars, he's really almost in the line there, Bill. Most of the guys, as they come into that last corner, want to be way high.
Right, and you can see right there that the car isn't really embedded in the wall, so I think the damage is fairly light. But if he can't move it, they certainly have to get that car off there, because as other cars are coming in under braking, if any of them ever made nose-to-nose contact, potentially could be very dangerous.
This is the end of a very long racing weekend here. The Grand Prix America's inaugural running on this new course. Probably the only time we'll see this particular course. And what he talked that the track will change for next season. Justin Bell onto pit road. Jan Beekes is there.
And, of course, we wonder now whether we'll get a full course caution, because this is something he wanted to do. He wanted to take on fuel early. This will be a good strategy if there is a full course caution. So they're rolling the dice, as we said.
Well, you know what? I like that roll, too, Jan. I think that was a really heads-up move there by that whole team. The Mustang of Luis Mendez is still parked against the fence. And, yes, a full course caution is coming out, so that is perfect.
Bell and his car owner, Jim Durhak, certainly timed that perfect.
Well, sometimes you're the bug and sometimes you're the windshield. And
better to be lucky than good sometime.
That's a good one today.
The Durhak Motorsports crew high-fiving, pretty darn pleased with the way this has turned out in the early going. So the full course caution is being shown the field. The Trans Am Series on the streets of Miami. We'll have more on speed in a moment. Some call this the Monaco of North America. Great place to come racing. First time in nearly 10 years that the Trans Am Tour has been on the streets of Miami. It's been a great weekend so far. The crowds have been huge. What a pretty venue for racing. Full course caution for an incident coming to turn 16. Several of the leaders have been on pit road. The other cars deciding to stay out. Butch Leitzinger, one of the cars. Paul Gentilozzi stopping as well while we were away. As the fuel was going in, there was a near miss. Gentilozzi and Butch very tight to get off of pit road. To Calvin Fish.
Well, the teams are really doing their sums, Rick, to figure out if they could get to the checkered flag by topping the tanks up at this point. Tom Gloy and Buddy Fay here engineering this car. They were really concerned that they got enough gas to get it to the fuel. They think they'll be okay, but that was really tight when Gentilozzi sped down pit lane and just got by Butch Leitzinger. What was the story there, Jan?
Well, for Paul Gentilozzi, they took on, it appeared to me, enough fuel to get the thing filled back up to make it to the end. But as you said, it was a great pit stop, and they almost picked up that spot. And, of course, when you get a little bit of extra speed on pit road, you try to capitalize on it. But with a pit speed limit, it gets very dicey at the pit exit.
Morris said is still the leader. Green flag back in the air on lap 20. Stu Hainer staying on the racetrack. He's up to second now in the Trenton Forging Chevrolet, the 02. Third belongs to Mike Lewis. Paul Fix is next in line. That's George Diaz. Miller, who had that earlier problem in that long pit stop, well, he's lost several laps. He's not at the hunt. He's back in 16th with Justin Bell, who stopped early, remember, and took on fuel a few moments ago. Well, he's up in the standings. Justin Bell has gained ground to 7th. This is Mike Davis, Forrest Sed's team owner in the Sun Microsystems ACS number 11. He's spun against the Mustang Refired. He's back underway.
Yeah, probably just cold tires. You see him again just pushing a little bit wide in the corner there. Not a lot of grip. He's turning the wheels. The car just won't respond. I'm going to be really interested to see what Stu Hainer can do in this situation, because he was all over the back of Butch Leitzinger, and it looks like he's really taking a run at Boris now.
One of the short straightaways here, heading toward the final couple of corners. Third belongs to Lewis. Fourth to Paul Fix. Calvin Fish. Some unusual fuel strategy being worked by a couple of the teams.
Well, especially the leader. Boris has really been an advocate of pitting as early as you can to maintain that track position, even if there's a yellow. But their key number was lap 28, and the man who makes that decision is Joe Huffaker. He builds these engines. He's been a long-time entrant in Trans Am, had a lot of success, and they've finished on the podium every race this year. Great engines. And not only that, Joe can drive as well. He just won his 8th national championship at the SCCA runoffs just a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be showing that on speed in the next few weeks.
Very talented guy. Ran a Mini Cooper for several years, and that may well have been what he used to win yet another championship at the runoffs out in mid-Ohio several days ago. Morrison, the 33, is the points leader. He's led all the way so far here at Miami, but here comes Hainer.
Well, you saw the difference right there. Stu Hainer got a little bit offline, and suddenly his car skated over like a full car would right there. Almost no grip, but thankfully that was one of the spots where the track is wide enough. It didn't really cost him a lot. This area down through here, too, is so difficult. You can see right there that he was going across a concrete patch. Levels of grip changed so much right down there.
On board with Boris, taking a look back at the white Corvette of Hainer. Heading north at Paul Gentilozzi, second in series points, who was running second before that pit stop. You saw the near miss. He and Butch Leitzinger trying to hurry and get off pit road, beat one another out of the pits. Paul's being black flagged this time around for speeding on pit road, so he'll have to come in for a stop-and-go penalty. Gentilozzi 8th after the stop, but he'll lose more track position.
Oh, is that going to Fred? There it is right there being shown to him. This will just make Paul seethe in the cockpit.
The top of number 3 for Gentilozzi out of the Rocket Sports shops. Meantime, Morris said with his mirrors full of the 02, Stu Hainer right behind him now.
Stu is always so fast on street circuits.
Yes.
It's just one of those things that he really likes them. Once again, dramatically different lines through that corner.
Stu is very smooth. He really takes care of the race car and the tires.
Look how precise Stu is. This is one of the difficult things. And for years, I used to watch Stu up at Three Rivers, Quebec. Driving a similar situation. A lot of tight channels running through the areas. And he's very much at home putting the car through those things.
Yeah. Driving instructor himself. Got a glimpse there a moment ago of the split between first and second over the last couple of laps. Last time by, Hainer had cut it down inside half a second. We'll see what it is this time as the 2 lead cars come up out of the front stretch.
Kind of interesting, too, watching that camera at the back, and you see the ebb and the flow that 2 cars and 2 drivers are always going to have their own favorite points of the track. One may pick up a little bit and one may lose a little bit.
Paul Fix has got in the wall. That's the 77, the Royal Purple Jag. He's bent up some of the body work on that car.
And that is on the front straight. Again, a wide area. He should be able to get turned around.
Yellow being shown in the area. Claudio Burton, Simon Gregg on the brakes. Fix will try to get the car spun correctly around, but we're going to get a full course caution yet again here at Miami. 24 laps, 73 the distance, and the double yellows being shown the field as they come off the final corner. Fix gets the car turned. These parts of the racetrack not very wide here in Miami. Here's another look at it as they go off the final turn. That's Diaz in the 91. Looks as though Fix just got too much on the gas too soon, Bill. The rear end got away from him.
That's exactly all it was. I mean, that easy. On any other track, you get pretty good grip. But here, you say goodbye.
So Paul Fix, the Royal Purple 77, is back underway with a lot of body damage. He may be headed to pit road. We'll find out next.